Content warning: the stories and themes shared throughout this podcast may contain themes that can be distressing for you. If needed, please pause and do what you need to do to take care of yourself. If needed, please reach out to a mental health professional for support.
Welcome back to another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana. It is Blair and Alana. And you know what?
Hello.
It hasn't been us in a while because I've had so many interviews and we've started doing a little, like a teeny tiny show with shorter episodes called Under the Grieffluence, just to kind of give like real-time updates. So this is our first Blair and Alana Resilient AF podcast that we've done in a while. So what has been going on?
Well, hot off the press, I just finished my EMDR training.
Like
Uh,
forever? Like you're first forever done?
well, no, I still have some consultations, but the big chunk of it.
Right.
And I am fresh off a stomach bug, and I still got the spins. Actually, the spins are new. I know, stomach bug, smile. So it's been a fun five since I've been home from Grief Week.
You know, I bet you, first of all, congratulations on finishing where you're, with your program. I bet
Mhm.
you like when I've had that stomach bug in the summer, I felt like that after and it was dehydration. You have to have like electrolytes. You need to like pump yourself full of them.
Mm. Famous last words. Electrolytes. Blair loves electrolytes, as we all should. We all should love electrolytes. I should drink them more. Need some more
So,
Gatorade.
let's talk about first of all, like good news.
Well,
Good news is that we have a book coming out. Like you're listening to this maybe in real time. March 7th, 2026, our fifth anthology comes out, Resilient AF Stories of Resilience, Volume 3. In the past 14 months, we've published three books, and I've published a fourth book, a journal, which is bonkers. We're gonna keep publishing books, but not this many in such a short period of time because it took a lot out of us. But we are so excited, and we're doing our launch in New York in Times Square, and we're gonna have a billboard and a brunch, and authors are coming from all over the world, like Australia.
what? I don't think I
Yeah.
knew someone was coming from Australia.
Yeah, she's Venezuelan. She's in Australia, and she's coming all over the States, Canada. It's going to be so epic, and it feels like this grand finale, even though it's not a grand finale. It's like a grand finale of like this season for us, and like what a way to wrap up Grief Month and kick off your birthday. Let's talk about grief.
Yeah, it's the season finale.
It's the season finale.
Let's talk about a Grief Week.
Yeah, do you want to let everyone know what Grief Week is if they are new here?
Yeah, Grief Week is when Blair and I honor the death anniversaries of our parents. So our parents, if you're listening, you likely know, but in case you don't, died 360 days apart. Our mom died February 23rd, 2021, after a 3-week battle with cancer. And then our dad died February 18th, 2022, after a long battle with COPD and a shorter battle with lung cancer. And so we decided that every year during that week, we're going to meet somewhere warm because it's better to be warm and sad than to be cold and sad because we both live in cold climates. I live in Winnipeg, which is minus a million at times, and Blair lives in Kamloops, which can also be minus a million at times. So that is,
Yeah.
yeah, go
And we
ahead.
have matching shirts. We just did our fourth annual Grief Week. It
Mm-hmm.
was the fifth anniversary of mom dying, and it was the fourth anniversary of dad dying. Dead Dad Day is February 18th. Dead Mom Day is February 23rd. And this year, on February 22nd, we got a treat. So we decided this year, like it hasn't really been appealing till now because we've done a cruise, we've done Palm Springs, and we're trying to
Mm.
figure out where is safe and affordable. And we both agreed that we love Puerto Vallarta, and that was one of
Hmm.
our last like hot vacations with our mom. The year I got married, so 2017.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go to Puerto Vallarta. We booked the Hard Rock. Never stayed at a Hard Rock before, but we wanted somewhere where it was easy. And Alana and I splurge. Like we work very hard and we splurge on Grief Week. Like I'm very low maintenance. I don't need fancy. And it's isn't like it's not a five-star resort, but it's not a 3-star resort. Like it's good.
Hmm.
And we upgraded to a newer room and we were having a great time. And we learned on Dead Dad Day that our Winnipeg neighbors, so the neighbors we had
Yeah.
growing up, where our mom and Lisa, the other mom, were like best friends essentially, and like they had 4 daughters around our ages, and they had a pool, and like we just like spent, we grew up with them. And
Hmm.
we found out that not only were they in Puerto Vallarta, but they were like 2 resorts over. And so we got to be Mexico neighbors with our Winnipeg neighbors, which was like so nice. It was kind of like this gift from mom, I felt like maybe even with her anticipating what was going on. Like
Hmm.
maybe she knew what was about to happen, but it was really nice to have like familiar faces that felt like home there.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law was also there. Not as close, but we met up with her one day. But then the day before Dead Mom Day, something happened.
Wait, before we talk about that, let's revel in some of our favorite parts of Grief Week before February 22nd.
Alana wants to talk about the Bali beds
I do. And the massages.
and the bath on the
And the bath. The
and the
bath.
sunset. I've never seen Alana so happy. Those are basically Alana wants to just talk about her favorite things, and those are them. Let's talk about them. Let's talk
Okay.
about the sunsets.
The sunsets were beautiful. And it was my favorite show. We didn't make it to any of the resort shows, but we made it to the sunsets.
And
Every night.
sometimes Alana watched them while in our patio bath.
Oh my God, it was the best. And then I even watched like the moon one night and a wedding reception from the bath. Okay, so there's these bathtubs on the patios, and these rooms were just renovated. And so soon this hotel's gonna be doing that with all the rooms. And so when I saw that there were some renovated rooms, that's when I reached out and was like, hey, I would really love to have a sunset bath.
Yeah.
And so I did. And the bath was new and it was a jacuzzi. And so it felt like a hot tub and it was wonderful. And the sunsets every night were the best things in the world, honestly. Like there was nothing more serene than sunset time. I, yeah,
Well, even one
I,
day we went down to the beach. We did a big beach walk to the sunset, watch it while walking along like the water. It was just so good.
it was so good. Honestly, sunsets over the ocean, I guess anywhere on the West Coast, that because that's where the sun sets, then if you needed a geography lessons.
Yeah.
So there was the sunsets, and then there were the Bali beds. So um, we decided we wanted to hang out on the beach, which is definitely what we needed because we'll tell you what our experience was at the pool another time in a few minutes. But I saw these Bali beds, and I was in my head, I was like, okay, on Dead Mom Day, we need to have these Bali beds. And so I basically cracked a deal. Is that the word? Cracked? Met a
Yeah.
deal. Did a deal with the concierge that we can get the Bali beds because we don't drink for 4 days, but for the cost of 3 days. And they included like these fresh coconuts, which was probably one of Blair's favorite parts. And it was quiet, like we just heard the water. Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah. And then what were my other favorite parts? Oh, the massages were great. It was really just the sunsets and the Bali beds that like in the bath that got me going.
And like the
I was
staff were
like,
amazing. We had great
oh,
breakfast. The room service was great. They had
yes.
really good dessert, like unlimited cheesecake.
Oh my God, the creme brulee, the lemon pie.
Like the and like everyone that worked there was amazing. And like yeah, all those were great. I discovered like one of the servers said when we were done drinking our coconut, he can cut it up for us and like asked if we wanted a bit of tahini on it. And I said, sure, because I wanted to try it. And oh my God, he like cut up the like coconut meat and put tahini on it with a bit of lime and salt. And it was like the most delicious thing I've ever had. It's so delicious that I actually have tahini at home and I've put tahini on a few different things. Not the same. Put it on some eggs. It's actually pretty good on eggs. But yeah, that was amazing. And like we will be going back. Like the staff was just so amazing. And Alana and I are not influencers. Just want to like we are not like
No.
officially influencers, But throughout the time there, we would post and every so often would tag from our business account, my personal account, your personal account.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so the day before Dead Mum Day, I did a bit of work in bed and I come down to the beach to the Bali beds. And I'm like, whoa, it's smoky. And Lana's like, yeah, there's fires. And I look to the left and I look to the right, and there's like black smoke fumes like far off in the distance. And I start getting messages from my mother-in-law, Val, who was in the same area. And essentially, the government captured El Muncho. Was that his name?
A Mencho? Mencho.
Not Muncho. El Muncho sounds like a character from like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
El Muncho those coconuts, Blair. El Mencho,
I
which was
wonder
like
if
the
it
head of
means
like the
anything.
local cartel, and like he died. Lots of death. Anyways, and then the cartel like retaliated, and like no civilians were reported to be harmed physically, probably emotionally. There was a lot of like I'm watching the news and like there were like some pulled out of their cars and the cars were set on fire or pulled out of their buses, and not only were the buses set on fire, but then they had no more passports or luggage, and so like chaos happened, and we got evacuated from the beach from our Bali bed. And I kind of documented it a bit on social media, but then it started. If we were later informed, it was a little tone deaf because we didn't really know the gravity of the situation.
And I just want to say,
Oh,
okay, you
I
continue.
just want to say, like, cheesecake's my favorite food, and I was just documenting how, like, I was scared that we were going to be locked in our, not locked in our rooms, but like I thought we had to shelter in place maybe in our rooms, and
Hmm.
I was just worried that they were going to run out of food, and so I ordered a bunch of food to the room, including the cheesecake, like emergency cheesecake. I think that's reasonable.
I do too, and I just want to say because I guess this was like our first experience experiencing something like this very first hand, and even then there was like a little bit of distance. Um, the news blows so many things out of proportion that what the internet sees and what TikTok sees and the way news spreads, they made it seem like people were being like civilians and all these people were being killed. And so when they were responding to our posts, they were like saying things like, "Oh, like this is tone deaf," and like "El Mencho should get you," and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Rude. Let me eat my
okay,
cheesecake first.
yeah, but also it's like maybe just take a moment. Like all the people who are at resorts, they're like, why are you there? It's like, like we make money, we're allowed to spend it. Puerto Vallarta is a place that I think really thrives on tourism, and we do the best we can with what we know and what we had. But the comments were getting to be a little bit much, and that's just like TikTok for
And
you.
and Alana decided to not show them to me, but we just got rid of all the videos, so you can't find them. But essentially, I was putting them on my story and saving them, and we were just documenting in real time what was happening. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and like the internet, like either it's like so supportive or so vile. And yeah, when it comes to political things, I've only experienced personal vileness. So, anyways, so we had to shelter in place. We were told we had to go into the hotel, but they let us stay at the pool. Very grateful for that. And also want to recognize the staff that were there couldn't leave. And the staff that weren't working couldn't come to work because the whole city was like in lockdown. And some of the staff worked like 6 a.m. to midnight and had to sleep there and then get up and work
Mhm.
again. And like Alana and I recognize like how scary of a situation it must have been for them, and like them having to put on this face, this brave face, this front to make sure we have this great guest experience. But we acknowledge that like it was terrifying if, not being able to go home or what's really going on while working. You're not checking your phone all the time. And so like, I felt really bad for the staff, and like yeah, like we're there on vacation, but this is their life and their livelihood, and not knowing what the situation was. So Alana and I decided, let's go lie by the pool. It was so hot, there was no breeze, um, and it was very loud.
So loud. And there
That
was
was the
no
day we
shade.
spent a lot of time in our room.
Hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And then the next day, oh, Alana like went down a couple times to check if the beach opened.
It
It
did
didn't
not.
until the next day, but Dead Mom Day, the beach opened.
Thank God.
And like while this is all happening, flights are being canceled, and all the flights to and from were canceled for days. And I was supposed to fly out mm, like 3 p.m. ish on the 24th.
Hmm.
And when 3 p.m. the 23rd came, when you can check in, my flight was still available. I was like, okay, sweet. Like I was like, that was my worry. I was like, okay, like it's not canceled. I'm getting home because I'd been gone for already a few weeks. I was leading a grief trip in the Maldives. It was, I was ready to come home and we're getting ready to go to New York. Like, it's not a small task to publish a book. I also didn't have the budget for another week or so in Mexico. And then we were getting ready for dinner for Dead Mom Day to have a nice dinner and do a cheers with our Winnipeg neighbors. And I get a message. I get an email just saying my flight was canceled. Nothing else. No explanation, no reassurance, no reason, even though we know the reason, and no plan or mention of rebooking. So now I then like freak out because I don't know when I'm going to leave. And there's no flights out. And the flights that we were finding were like thousands and thousands of dollars for things that were normally a few hundred. And I just wanted to get out of Mexico. So, anyways, I waited on hold for a bit. It was annoying. We took a break. I went down to the beach with Alana, and our neighbors came. We had a
Hmm.
beautiful time doing a cheers to
Beautiful
Sharon.
sunset
Yeah.
and a beautiful cheers.
And a beautiful cheers. We honored our mom, which I think was such a beautiful gift because our mom's actual death happened during COVID, and we couldn't have like a proper funeral or celebration for her. And so it was nice to have Lisa there, like,
Hmm.
and Dan, and this basically like our second family.
Yeah.
Um, and then Alana goes to, we normally eat dinner at six,
6.
five, but like six, because that's the earliest they serve dinner in Mexico, because they're clearly not on the Golden Girls schedule like we
No.
are. And but we were running a little late because of the Sharon cheers. And so dinner, it was like an hour and it was a million hour wait for dinner. So I decided to like get on hold.
Hmm.
The fucking hold music from Flair Airlines is the worst I've ever heard in my entire life. And there's like a
It's like a
flute.
whistle.
There was like a
Yeah.
flute and like anyways, it was terrible. And then I got on Instagram and they actually were more responsive on Instagram. So now we finally got a spot at dinner. It's very late. I
Blair had no interest in being there when I
no.
made her sick because I was like, we can't do another night of room service. And also, I really wanted that caprese salad again.
Yeah,
It's
and we
so
did it.
good.
But anyways, I was like overstimulated, like I was losing the plot. Long story
Yeah.
short, I finally got a hold of someone via Instagram Messenger, and I had to basically beg them to rebook me. And according to like the laws of like what they're supposed to do, they didn't do it, and they rebooked me for a week later. That wasn't sufficient, but I just like had to like call it for the night. And then the next day, I thought, okay, well, I need to find somewhere to stay for a week. Thought I had a room booked at our resort, but they didn't extend it like we asked them the night before. And as I was negotiating that, I messaged my group of friends, and someone actually found me a last minute flight that was just added out that day. So I got an emergency flight at 8 p.m. flight from Puerto Vallarta to Edmonton, slept on the bench, flew to Calgary to Kamloops, and I made it home. And I feel like I'm just recovering from all of that.
Hmm.
My nervous system was just shot. Alana's flight went normal as is, but also like I would say like the least relaxing grief week. If and Alana and I were like talking like can grief week like can like Dead Mom Day be get worse like in comparison because we have this game like which is worse like blah 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 or mom dying or dead
Hmm.
mom and like it was definitely an excitement, but like I didn't like leading up to this I actually felt relaxed for the first time in a while. And
Yeah,
I went the complete opposite. And
you did.
yeah, and I had a mentee B. I had a
Hmm.
friend show me some like extreme kindness, and like that's kind of just like it broke me because it was something just so nice, and no one's ever done anything that nice for me before. And like yeah, I had a big fucking juicy cry.
Yeah. And it's okay to cry.
Oh,
Crying.
I just like I didn't
Yeah.
have to, and then I did.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It was a wild 24 hours, 48 hours. And yeah, my flight like was on time and everything. The airport was bananas, of course, because everyone like now flights are resuming and every flight was full. Um, And I think that is where I got my little stomach bug. And I should have known better. Um, I should have known better.
So
Now
what?
I
Like,
do.
what would you have done differently? Did wear a mask?
No, I wouldn't have eaten the tuna sandwich
Ew,
at
that's your
the
problem.
lounge. That
That's
was
your
my
that's
problem.
your problem. That's your problem.
Well, what I've usually I love a
What
good
is it?
tuna
Food
sandwich.
poisoning though? Was it food poisoning or you were just
I
full?
think it was. Signs lead to that, especially because you didn't get
I
sick.
also did not eat the tuna.
Yeah, you exactly. You didn't get sick. No one like I
But you
tried to go to work the
but you
first
could have
no,
caught something on the plane.
I could have. However, what I'm saying is no one who I've been with since has gotten sick.
Oh, you haven't shared your germs.
Well, I haven't had germs to share because the germs are food poisoning and not
Okay.
flu. But
So don't eat
anyways,
tuna. If the airport is locked down for 2 days, don't
don't eat the
eat the
tuna
tuna.
sandwich because we don't know what the refrigerated policy
Oh my
was, and
God.
the power may have been out. We don't know. I should have known better. Now I know.
Um, so yeah, Grief Week was definitely a little too exciting, but it was still great.
It
Like
was
still
perfect.
and like okay, so
Honestly,
then Alana and I check out and the PR manager from the hotel was there waiting
Giselle,
for us with her team. What's her name?
Giselle.
Giselle. And she basically thanked both of us for the posts and she said something about like the staff loving us and that we were just like nice and gave us each like a fancy Hard Rock Vallarta mug and gave each of us like this beaded bracelet necklace for like
Oh,
for safety and
Diana at the
yeah.
front gave that.
Yeah.
Diana's who helped me get the upgrade at the
Yeah.
beginning.
So
So
so they
lovely.
were just like really like I don't know, they took a picture of us and it's on their social media and
Oh, is it?
well, it was on their story. I don't know if it's on their
Oh,
feed, but they were really, really great. And Alana and I are like both like, yeah, we'll be back next year for Grief Week. So
yeah,
it looks like that's what we're doing for Grief Week. And it
yeah.
was, yeah, it was great. And so we feel very fortunate that we weren't like right in the heart of the romantic zone because that's where we wanted to stay. And I also recognize like the privilege of being able to go on these type of trips. But
Hmm.
it doesn't take away from like the trauma of what happened. And like, when I used to drink, or like, I don't know if they still talk about it, but like breaking the seal, like you don't go pee right away when you have to pee because as soon as you do, you're peeing all the time. I feel like my nervous system seal for dysregulation was like mom's death just like broke it. So like it's very
Hmm.
easy for it to go offline, but just as easy as for it to come back online. And I just wrote this huge Substack that's gonna be out. I like record the Substacks and put them up, and it's how we navigate grief. And it was just about my like nervous system, like fight or flight hangover, and
Mm.
like what I did. But like my mind shows up in like this extreme exhaustion, and like yeah, I don't know. I mean I feel like it's just like this one of those like resilience in motion where it's like I practice what I preach literally. So
Yeah. It's so interesting because like we both have very different ways of processing when these types of things happen. Like you're very much like an externalizer in the way you process, and I'm an internalizer, so it makes sense. Also, I was probably more susceptible to food poisoning. Um, but also like, yeah, I like went vacant and you were like feeling. And I was feeling, but I was like a vacant feel, if that makes sense. But nervous systems can be, but yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't, like, I know it was very impactful for you and like it was impactful for me. Um, and also I feel like like the aftermath, like I don't feel as much of the reverb as you have, but
But
that
you
also
also,
means,
I think, because my flight what really
yeah,
fucked
it was the
through me,
flight.
the
It was the
flight
flight.
thing, and then being
That's
trapped there
true.
and not knowing where I was going to stay or how I was going to afford all that, and like putting out a book and having all
Yeah.
my client work, it was just so much that like I was overloaded.
Yeah, and that's true. Well, what I did was I actually booked a backup flight on a different airline
For how
that
much?
was like $2,000. And thankfully, I was able to cancel and get a refund, like, which I did, like, as soon as I landed in Winnipeg, because I knew I was safe to do so. Um, and I couldn't afford that, but I also couldn't afford not being home. And I was just like, whatever, it's a future issue if that is the issue, but thankfully. We
Yeah.
both made it.
We both made it. So that's the Grief Week recap. We're getting ready to go to New York. We're hoping that what happens over in the Middle East settles down and it's not impacting any more people. It'd be really like intense if like we also
Don't even put that in the
Okay, you
ocean.
know what I was if you don't know what I was about to say, you just that's fine.
You know, we're hopeful that we're gonna have a nice calm March. My birthday will
April and
be
May, June,
calm,
July, August, life.
but we're gonna go 1 month at a time
Let's go
for now.
one day at a time.
One day at a time.
So, recording this, it's March 1st. It's Teddy's first birthday. And Alana's birthday's coming up March 9th. And
Yeah.
what's Lenny's birthday?
Oh, Lenny's birthday is
Oh, no, it's
August
August. But wait, you got
2nd
him
or
in
August
March.
3rd. Yeah, his gotcha day is March 8th.
So we got exciting. March is exciting for the British short hair, long hair, and the Alana
The
hair.
the British cats and the
Sister.
Ashkenazi cat,
Is that you?
which is me. Yeah.
Anyways, you want to support us, you want to buy our book, let's make it a bestseller. Let's support people and the stories of resilience. You can get it at theglobalresilienceproject.com or on Amazon. It doesn't come out until Saturday. Who knows when you're listening to this? It's out March 7th. But we're going to be sharing a lot of it on social media, documenting everything that we're doing like we normally do. Do you have anything else you want to add, sister?
You know, be careful of what you put in your mouth, or as Blair says, any of your face holes.
Yeah, what you put in your face holes matter. And if there's been a cartel flare up, don't eat the tuna.
Give it a couple days.
Give it a couple days. No, like
Give it a week.
you gave it a couple days. That's what the
I
problem
did give it a couple of days.
Uh, well, I'm happy that you're like almost fully recovered. And thank you to everyone for tuning in to another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana. Thanks for being along this ride with us. You know, life's full of ups and downs, grounded planes, delayed flights, scary news, happy times. And we're going to get through it together. And just remember, friends, you are Resilient AF. That's a wrap for another episode of Resilient AF with Blair and Alana. And thank you for listening. Are you feeling inspired to bounce forward?
Let's connect at theglobalresilienceproject.com, where you can read many stories of resilience, buy our books, shop our clothing line, learn more about how to strengthen your resilience muscle, be empowered, and more.
Remember, friends, you are Resilient AF.